Hey y'all, welcome to Booked and Unfiltered.
Where book talk gets real, loud, and totally unhinged,
We're diving into the books that we love.
and saying all the things that your book club won't.
I'm Gloria.
And I'm Maddie.
Let's get booked and unfiltered.
Yay!
Woo!
Okay, we are back. Episode 3. We're ready for it.
So excited. I've been dying for this episode. Bookish Hot Takes is always such a fun thing to get on.
I know. And it's like, everyone has their bookish hot take and their own opinion on it, but I feel like this was definitely something that we wanted to dive into right off the bat.
Yes, no, it is. The sun is slowly going down behind me. We're filming so early today.
I know, right?
I was like, oh, the sun's going to be showing. And now they're going to see the
usually having a lot of issues, but today we got it. We got it quicker.
We got it. Yes.
But yeah, today we're going to dive into some bookish hot takes and just see where that takes us and what opinions do we have on it. Gloria and I have only really shared what bookish hot takes we have. We haven't shared our own opinions on it. So I'm really excited to see if anything will differ for a bookish hot take for us. But also excited for everyone to hear what our hot takes are on the topic or what our opinions.
Yeah, just all our
These are all opinions, so if you're like, that's wrong, it's probably wrong for you, but it's right for us. Or if it's right for us, it's wrong for you. That's why they're hot takes. So I guess we can just go ahead and dive into some of them. I know there's one in particular you said you wanted to start out with for me.
Yes, there is. So obviously, if you follow us on our social media, we have been posting, asking y'all to like drop your hot takes and everything. So someone DM'd Maddie on her Bookstagram, and I feel like this girl straight came for her, because if anyone follows Maddie, they know that she's a diehard Carter Beckett fan. And if you don't know who Carter Beckett is, he is the MMC from Consider Me and Becca Max Playing for Keep series. He's from book 1, and he is your playboy, but he's got that golden retriever vibe. He's a Disney dad. Like, if I don't want to give spoilers, but he's a Disney dad, like loves Disney princesses, and I just love him. But this hot take that a girl submitted this, and she said, I despise Carter Beckett. And I told Maddie as soon as she sent this to me, I said, that girl came for you. She knew that you loved him, and she just had to let you know that she despised him.
Yeah. I don't know why so much. I mean, she told me, and again, it's a hot take, but I'm like, oh, this one hurt my soul, and it'll really hurt to speak about, because I think the reason why I love Carter is because he's very different from what I have in my own life, but also, like, I don't know, I feel like it's similar but so different from other like male characters in books, where he just, I don't know, to me it's different. He's just so like he's loud, not like speaking loud, but like in his actions and his words.
He's very outgoing.
Yeah, very outgoing, very bubbly, and it's very different like for me myself, and I feel like I just love that about him. But he loves so loud, like he loves his people, his found family, everything like that. And yeah, that one hurt. That one hurt to read. And I feel like
and which we kind of had this conversation before, but like every like hockey found family, when you have a series like that, they have to have that character. It's always usually the first character, the first MMC beginning of the series. They always have that one character who just kind of like begins the found family and like holds it together. Because I think, remember I told you I compared him to John Morgan from the Bruce Seattle Scorpion series, because like they're kind of similar throughout all books and everything. Plus, I mean, if you've read that series, you know that spoilers, so if you haven't read it or you don't want to know, skip over. Over the books, him and Liv get married and they have a baby. They have a little girl, and he's karaokeing to Disney songs with his sister, and I'm just like, we love Carter Beckett.
I love Carter.
I don't despise Carter Beckett. He was not my favorite. Like, I didn't despise him, but I was a Garrett Anderson girl. Like, but I'm a brother's best friend trope, and like I just loved the vibe of that story, but I still gave Consider Me 5 stars.
Oh yeah, I mean, I get it, and like the reason why, and you know who you are. The reason why she told me she despises Carter Beckett is the miscommunication trope, which I'm like, I get that. I feel like it wasn't a total miscommunication trope. Maybe, I don't know. I don't
It's
know.
been
But
so long since
anyways,
I don't even remember having a miscommunication trope.
I highly disagree with this hot take. That is all. Next.
You go next.
Yeah. I'm like, that's it. I've had enough talking about how someone hates him. Okay, Book Lovers by Emily Henry is overhyped.
I
What
have
are
not
your
read it.
thoughts?
I've never read
Okay,
it,
I
so I would.
haven't. Yeah, I haven't either. I guess going off of, and it's funny because another hot take, and I'll just kind of combine these two. The People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry is the worst. So I'm seeing a pattern here of like some people, like I've read two M. Henry books, and one of them I loved, like I adored it. It was such a great book. And
Which
then the
ones did you
other,
read?
I've only read Beach Read and fuck, what's the other one?
You read Happy Place.
Happy Place, yes. I read Beach Read and Happy Place. Loved Beach Read. I adored that book. Happy Place, I was just so ready for the book to be over. There was just so much going on, and then shit hits the fan like 90% of the way through, and I'm like, okay, this should have happened like 30% of the way.
Yes, no. I did Happy Place
So,
too. I'm like you. I've only read two books by her, and I think I gave Happy Place like a 3.5. I think that it wasn't
same.
bad, but like the storyline for me just kind of like I was like, that could have been. The plot wasn't plotting in one spot, and
Talk about a miscommunication trope.
yeah,
That book is
yeah,
just
for
one
real.
one giant miscommunication trope. Like that's what the genre should have been, a miscommunication trope.
Yes. My honestly though, a book that I read by her this year, which was Funny Story, that book was so good.
Mm,
Like, and that's my second book I've ever read by her, and I did the audiobook. Oh my god. When people because I think that Funny Story was a 25 book romance book on Goodreads.
mm-hmm.
Maybe 2024. I think it's 2024 because we're in 2025. So I was like, oh, okay, I gotta check it out. Always gotta
Yeah.
read what Goodreads top romance book is. And I can agree. It was pretty good. It was very the storyline was it's very slow burn, but the
Mm-hmm.
plot was very well written for me.
Yeah, it really seems like Henry's books are just hit or miss, and
Yeah,
that's
because my book club that I have on Books to Grow with a bunch of girls, her newest book is our book club book, and the girl who runs the book club, she DNF'd it, and I was like, oh girl.
no. Everyone's
And so
been
like
saying
as soon as
such
I
good
see
things about
someone,
it, though.
I know, and so like it's so back and forth, you know. I feel like I mean
Yeah,
everyone's like I said, everybody has their own opinions, and not every because
yeah.
it's like Abby Jimenez's book right now. I heard that it's very different from when she wrote, and I know you love Abby Jimenez, and so do I. So like I think I'm gonna pick it up. Like I just got my Audible credit today, so I'm like,
Okay.
do I dive into this? So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I haven't decided
I
yet.
I think it's just hit or miss with M. Henry's books, but y'all let us know too what you think about M. Henry's books. And I actually
Yes.
had a couple people last week, they were listening to the podcast and messaging me on Instagram as we were going. So if you would like to do that, please do that. I love that y'all are listening to it and like messaging me through as you're listening. And I feel like these hot takes are perfect. You're like, oh my gosh, I disagree with you. Or like, yeah, like on the same page. Yeah, feel free to do that because I loved that when a couple people did that the other week for our second episode. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm here for it. All right.
all right.
I'm going to go on to our next one. Now, I guess we're going to go dive into this one because we've already kind of mentioned it. Miscommunication trope. Hate it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I just think like okay, it depends. Like if it's a miscommunication where it just causes this whole fucking fiasco. See, I don't like it as a whole. Like I feel like it can just be avoided by communication, right? And you're every time you read it, you're just sitting there like this all could have been avoided if you just talked and you talked like adults. However, I feel like there's some people that try like I feel like if you're going to write the miscommunication trope, just go all in with it and make it the worst miscommunication there ever was.
See,
I feel like there are some miscommunications where it's just like, "Oh, this happens," and then like 2 pages later everything's great and fine in the world. Like I think if you're going to write it, like write it with your soul, you know? Like
I
go
don't even
give
think that you could,
100%.
well, what you're talking about, like if they miscommunicate, like let's just say if the two main characters, like for me, obviously it's most of the time I'm reading sports on it. So it's like the girl saying something in the media and she goes, oh my God, he cheated on me. Like, how can I believe this? And it's just him not communicating because like he didn't want her to know because he didn't want her in the drama
Mhm.
of it. And it could have been like that for me. I don't really consider a miscommunication trope because I'm like, okay, whatever. Because like they resolve it in the next like chapter or two. But like,
Yeah.
if these people are like basically the friends slow burn, they both are in love with each other and they are just like miscommunicating on like every telltale, and I'm like, y'all, how can you not see it? Like that for me, I'm like, no, no.
Yeah.
So I think for
I
me, it's the way plot's written. Like it's got to
mhm.
be written pretty
Yeah.
well for me to like
Yeah, I
hold
agree.
interest and not be like, okay, I'm annoyed.
I agree with you. All right, so I think that's it for miscommunication trope.
Yes.
Okay, there's two. Okay, I'm gonna go with I hate third point of view books. Yes, I cannot stand third point of view books. I think the first time I realized this was Tessa Bailey's books. What is it? That one's Summer or something like that. Remember we read it
Yes,
at the
it has.
same time. I was so hard for me to read because I had been reading so many like dual point of view books or like single point of view books. I guess first person. And then I get to this one and I'm like, it's just so hard to track because I like with the dual point of view, like you're inside each person's head. And I'm actually reading Throne of Glass right now, and it's in third person point of view. I guess, yeah, that's what
See?
POV stands for. I'm in third person point of view, and it's just so hard because it's like, oh, he, and then she, and then this person felt this way, and that person felt that way, and I'm like, who is feeling this way? Like, I need to know from the person's point of view which way they're feeling. It's just listening to it through an audiobook, much easier. Reading it, very difficult for me. But what do you think?
Oh, I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I can read it if I really want to read it, but most of the time, give me the audio because ain't no way. I'm a. I personally love dual PVO. I can do single, but I love a male's perspective. Even though it's written by a female.
Right, I know. It's not really true, but
I know,
we'll
but
believe it is. We'll believe
in
it
my
is.
fictional world it is. But no, I'm kind of like the same with you. Like when you mentioned Throne of Grass, I think that's probably why I have not read it because I probably could not read the third person. I couldn't. I
Yeah,
would
it's
just have to
hard.
find the audiobook.
It's hard.
Yeah.
So I
I
may
just
check it. I mean,
it would take
I'm
me
loving it.
forever. It would take me forever to read. I'd be like,
Yeah.
because like I was gonna read Dream Girl Drama by Tessa Bailey, which is I read book 2 in the series, and it was good. It took me a little while to finish it because it was written in third. And then not that I wasn't getting into the book, but I don't know. It's just that third person POV that I just cannot.
Yeah.
But let's dive into the next question. Let's see. This we're gonna do this one because I asked you what kind of charm you're talking about. Kindle charms, and we're not talking about because I have Kindle charms, but we're talking about the charms that plug into the bottom of your Kindle, or AKA a butt plug, is what I've also heard them be called. The little charms that go.
Such strong feelings about these. They are fucking butt plugs, y'all. Like, oh my, like it's a butt plug and then it's something dangling from it. Like, it is just so fucking weird to me that you're gonna put something in a hole that's meant for a charger. But I guess it's the same perspective as a butt plug. Like, why are you putting something in a hole that's meant for shit to come out? Literally.
Hey, let people live in their freaky world, okay?
Anyways, this
Some
is why it's
people.
a hot take. This is why it's a hot take because I just
Hey,
don't like things. I don't know. For me, I'm not like
that
a
ain't my thing.
jewelry person.
I guess I'll
I'm
just put that out
not,
there.
I'm like, I don't know, things that just dangle like jewelry and like charms and like it just makes me cringe. Like nails on a chalkboard type vibes, but like when I
You don't
see
think
it on
this is
people,
cute? I
not
couldn't put it
really,
on my
but I love
Kindle because
you.
it would mess with me. I put it on my
Okay,
journal
it is
because
cute. It is
I
cute.
could not have.
It is cute. However, I could not have it on my like I couldn't use it. But yes, I think they look like butt plugs. And I think like the sole purpose of it is just to sit there and you enjoy it. Similar to a butt plug.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have a corgi. I have a little corgi one that someone sent me.
yeah. Just know that if I see one on your Kindle, I immediately think of butt plugs. And I hope I low key hope I changed how you view Kindle charms. Anyways.
Gosh, I'm
What,
dead.
what do you think about them? That's my opinion. That's my hot take. What do you think about my dog is in here with me? What do you think about Kindle charms?
I mean, if it's a charm, like if y'all are watching the video, I just showed like a little. It's like a legit like a charm bracelet. Because a lot of times, my friend Crystal owns a little side business, and I have two. But like I don't put them on my Kindle just because like my Kindle case folds over, so like it would be in the way, and that would bother me. But I put them like I put one on my book journal, and then I actually have one on my purse as like a bag charm, and that's what I use it for. For me,
Yeah.
I like that. That's my thing. Like
Yeah.
reading one, like she does them mostly on bookmarks. I could do a bookmark, but I don't read a lot of physical books, so it wouldn't benefit me. So that's why I just do the bag charms, because I can unclip them and clip them wherever I want. So it's a dual purpose.
Yeah. That's
But
true.
I ain't putting no butt plug. I don't need nothing hanging out the bottom of my Kindle. That thing would I feel like you would damage my charging port, to be honest, because if I throw it in my purse when I'm on the go, like it might hit it, and it's just not my thing.
That's a great point. So not only do they make me cringe, but it could also damage my charging port. So more reason to not
Yeah,
like
no.
Kindle chargers.
My friend didn't damage her charging port, but her charger quit working, and I legit bought her a whole brand new Kindle because her Kindle broke, and like Amazon went and replaced it. They're like, oh no, like buy a new charger. New charger didn't work, and she had to
Keep
get
that
a
in
whole new
mind,
Kindle,
y'all.
and I
Butt
bought.
plugs and charging port damage.
Yeah, not worth the risk to me. This thing is my pride and joy. Okay.
All right. We'll go on to the next one. 8+ book series feels too excessive. Okay. I agree. I think like 4. Okay, also depends how long. Like, are we talking like ACOTAR Throne of Glass long, or are we talking like 300, like 2 to 300 pages long per book? Because like
if they're talking about like 8 book series.
Well, yes, but I mean, like, is the series going to be like 2 to 300 pages long per book, or is it going to be like ACOTAR and Throne of Glass sized books? But I think overall 8+ books is too long because I don't know. So I read it's 2 series technically, but I read Elle Kennedy's books. Her, oh my gosh, what is it called? I'm blanking. Her off-campus series. Yeah, off-campus first and then Briar U. I read those all in a row, and honestly, by like book 7 and 8, I'm just dreading it. And I'm like, I hate this because I like the book, but I'm just ready to be done with the series.
See, I don't consider that a series though, because
but it's not. It's not.
Yeah. It's like a second spin-off series.
Yeah, but I'm saying that I read it all in a row as if it like with the vibes of it being one series. So I feel like if I were to read, like, I just think if I read them separately as they're intended to be a separate series, it would be fine. But I was able to kind of get the vibes of reading like an 8 series long or 8 or 9 series long or book series. Yeah, however long it was, 8 or 9 books. And my brain was glitching there real bad. And I don't know, I think it's too much. Like, there's part of me where it's like, I'm so sad that the series is going to end and I don't want it to. However, that's where I feel like people get the opinions of like, this book didn't need to be written, or like this could have been in an epilogue or whatever. So I think 8+ book series are way too long, as good as it might be. I think it's just figure out how to condense it, or like have smaller books, or like A Court of Frost and Starlight where you have like those novellas in there or something like that. But I'm not an author.
I've only read like one total a book series that was 8 books, and I could tell you immediately what it was. It was the Blue Moon series by Lucy Score. Mm-hmm. It's No More Secrets, Fall into Temptation, The Last Second Chance, Not Part of a Plan, Holding On to Chaos, The Fine Art of Faking It, Where It All Begins, and The Mistletoe Kisser. Now, I'm looking at my reading list because I was like, okay, I know exactly what I'm going to talk about. Out of all 8 books, I rated one book 3 out of 5. And for me, that's low. I rated everything else like a 4 out of 5, which is, I overall really enjoyed the series. My take on it is that in the beginning, obviously it's 4 brothers that it follows. And then it's it was a very small town. Obviously the town's called Blue Moon. And it follows the 4 brothers, so you get 4 books over the 4 brothers, and then you got very close friends. And then it goes back to the parents who started the family and the family business that it's based off of. And so I think that one's where it all begins. So you go back in time to because the dad is deceased by the time you get to the boys books. So it takes you back in time a little bit. And I think The Mistletoe Kisser was just a little romance novella, because these all weren't very long pages. But I overall enjoyed all 8 books, and I read them. This is before I started getting real crazy into reading and stuff, because I read all of them back to back. Because another thing, I'm kind of backtracking to our third person POV. Lucy Score, a lot of her books were in third person POV. We just didn't. I just don't think we had read a bunch of dual yet and didn't really notice. Because
I didn't know
what was
that.
I reading? Well, yeah, because I read. Remember, I was trying to read Mr. Fixer Upper, and I was like, this is written in third person.
Yes, yeah, because I recommended that to you and I liked it, but it was in third person point of view, and
Well,
I'm like,
and I
oof, this is
also
rough.
another series I loved by Lucy Score was the what is the name of this series?
I
It's
feel
another
like
small
James from
town.
Love on the Spectrum right now, where I'm just like yawning in front of my date constantly, so I apologize.
I'm trying to think what the name of this town was, but it's another small town. But like it was like pretend you're mine, finally mine, or protecting what's mine. I loved those books. I
Mm,
remember reading them for the first time, but I went back and picked one up because I bought the whole series. I'm like, these are written in third person, and I at the time I had no.
yeah.
So I'm thinking that like our brains just get used to like one thing, and it's hard to go back
No, it's so true. It's
because
so
like
true
in the beginning
because
I was able to read whatever, you know.
mm-hmm.
So I mean, I would say it's depending on how an 8-person series is written. Because another one that I read, which also is by Lucy Score, it was 6 books, but it was co-written. So she wrote a book, Claire Kinsley wrote the next book. She wrote the next
Mm,
book, Claire Kinsley wrote the next book. So, and that one was pretty good. I did all those. It was like 6 books.
yeah.
Some of them were okay. Some like I enjoyed the series because they all kind of they all kind of the interconnections to them. So,
Yeah.
but I think that's really only my longest series that I've read, obviously, besides. I don't even consider ACOTAR very long because, I
It's like
mean, you have your
four
world.
books.
Yeah, it's like 4 books, which
Which
is your basic.
I see, I think that's kind of where my point comes back in of this could have been an epilogue. I'm not going to give any spoilers to the third and fourth book. Well, I guess technically the fourth book is A Court of Frost and Starlight, but I'm not going to give spoilers. But a lot of people were like, this book could have just been an epilogue or two, and that's it. Like
Yeah.
it didn't need to be a whole entire, like, I enjoyed it. Like, I listened to it on audiobook and I enjoyed it because it's more like happy and like everything picking back up after something happens in the third book. And I enjoyed it, but again, I don't disagree. Like, that could have just been an epilogue of like, this is where everyone's at, and then here we go with the
Yeah.
fifth book.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think some things, even if it's novellas, they can just be put into epilogues. But again, this is all opinion based, so someone may think different.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, let's go to the next one. I haven't got off our list because I was looking at my other list. We'll hit this one because I don't know. I dog ear pages, and if you want to know what dog earing means, is when you take your physical book and you fold over the corner page of like your
Little
physical
puppy
book as a
dog
bookmark.
ear. I don't have like a like. I could care less if I'm being honest. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have like a strong opinion on this. I feel like if you want to keep your pages nice and crispy, keep them nice and crispy. If you want to dog ear them, go for it, girl or boy, go for it.
Yeah, that's how I kind of feel too. I'm a bookmark girly if I'm gonna read a physical book
Mm-hmm.
anyway. So, but I'm also kind of like I'm just kind of like keep the edges of the outside of book nice
Oh yeah.
and right.
Yeah,
Don't
I
damage.
I think as long as the outside, like the cover of the book is fine, like I don't really care. Like my grandma, ugh, love her to death. Bless you, I think.
Oh my gosh, I was trying to hide the did my mic and everything.
Nope, you didn't. No, I heard it.
Sorry. I guess I need to mute it on that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, my grandma was a member of, oh, she still is a member of the library that like she lives near. So we would go to it and they have this bookstore in the library. And some of the books had like dog-eared pages, but I'm like, that's not gonna stop me from buying a $2 book. You know, or
Oh
like
no.
if it's like a brand new book and like someone had obviously read it, like I'm not gonna pay full price for it. But I'm like, if it's a $2 book, a $5 book, like okay, it's a bargain. I'll deal with the corner
I bought a
pages.
used book today. Or no. Yeah, today. And I know people said they don't take nothing with writing in them. Open them up. Something's written in the corner. And I'm like, you don't take things with things written in them. I mean,
Yeah, like
that's
this
not
one
big.
has a lot of
I
stuff
was
written in
like,
it.
what even is this? I
Yeah.
bought, yeah, I don't know. But I don't read a lot of physical books. Do you? Do whatever you want
Mm-hmm.
to your books. Just,
Right.
yeah.
I really want to do this next one. Accepting it's okay to DNF a book, even if you're 70% of the way through it. What do you think?
That one is that's a very good one. I personally don't DF many books, or DNF very many books. If I'm 70% through it, actually, I take that. Nope, there's one book that I did. I got to 69% and I was like, I'm done. I think actually I jumped to
I
the
see it.
epilogue. So does that consider that I finished it? Because I marked it as I rated it, but I didn't rate it very good. Because I got to chapter 69
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, this is annoying. And then my friend's like, oh, stick it that through. And then I just jumped to the epilogue and I was like, this was even more dumb. So
I think
I feel like for me, I feel like if I'm 70% through, I feel like I would probably stick it out because I'm so close to the end.
mm-hmm.
But most of the time, if I'm reading a book and I'm already getting bad vibes, I DNF it way before 70%. So I couldn't say I really get that
Yeah.
far into a book. I think there's like, and most time if it's an audiobook and I'm 7% through, I'm gonna finish it out, and I'm just gonna rate it really low.
Yeah, so I would have to say yes. Like 2025 is the year for me to DNF books no matter where I am. And I think like in the month of January I DNF too because I'm like I just cannot fucking do this. I think that it's okay to DNF a book no matter where you are. Even if you're not like there was a book where I was literally 90 I think I was 90% of the way through and I just jumped to the epilogue because I'm like I can't like I already know how this book ends. Like I just need to know like the ending.
I
Like
think
the
there's
epilogue
also
ending.
like 2025, like not even just DNFing, but like it's okay to put a book down, put it back on the TBR, and pick it up again later.
Yeah.
Because I did that this year. I had a book
Yeah.
that I mean I think I was 20% into it, and I just wasn't in the mood with it, and it just wasn't. I'm
Mhm.
like, but I don't want to DNF it, so I was like, I'm just gonna put it to the side. And honestly, I was reading it as I got it the arc, and I was like, I think I'm gonna wait for this audio to hit, and I'm gonna get the audio
Yeah.
and just go from there.
So I think the reason why I say yes is because I know I read books a lot slower than you do. And or not that it's slower, it's just
Yeah,
like I'm just not able to get through books as quick as you are. Like you just freaking fly through them. Because I feel like you
girl,
have to
I,
sometimes.
I have not been. I have not been flying through any ebooks recently. It's been taking
Yeah.
me over a week to read any. One book a week is
But
what I'm at right now. Besides an audiobook. Audiobooks I've been pounding back. I mean,
yeah.
lately
Well
we haven't been
this
able to listen to audiobooks far.
yeah. But I think for this one, I would say because it sometimes takes me such a long time to read. Like there was one book I started reading my birthday weekend and it was like the end of April and I was still reading it and I had to DNF it and it was by an author I loved so much. I'm not going to say it because it kind of disappointed me, but
Don't you hate that?
I just think like if there's a book that you're not loving and you're just really struggling to get through it, my opinion is why force yourself like reading? And I tell people this all the time, especially when they're like in a slump or they just don't feel like reading. And I'm like, reading is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be something that we enjoy. So why are you forcing yourself to read something that you don't love? For the longest time I felt bad where I'm like, oh, like I feel bad for not finishing this book or for not reading it because I'm although like I've spent so much time and put so much time into it. Why wouldn't I read it? However, this year I'm like if I'm not loving it or I don't want to read it, I'm not going to and I'm going to read a book that I want to read. And that's just kind of been my mindset. So, I think you can be fucking 90% of the way through a book and just skip to the epilogue. Like if you're not enjoying a book, like I mean like if you're reading through it quickly and it's been like 2-3 days and you're 70% of the way through, like I don't know, maybe just finish it cuz you probably got like a couple hours left, but I think if you're someone that takes longer to read books and it's just been like 2 weeks and you're still like 60% of the way through, and you're like, I don't want to, just do it. Just do it and move on to a book that you love because
Yeah.
like that's what reading's supposed to be. You're supposed to enjoy it. So why read something that you don't enjoy, you know?
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with everything you just said. I do. I must say, not that I don't DNF, I don't, a lot of times I'm going to know what's going to be my vibe to read and what's not. And so I'm very picky about what I pick up to read. Next one, tagging authors and negative reviews. I already know you and I see eye to eye on this hot take.
Yeah, I don't like when people do that. I think it's wrong because
I don't even tag an author in first of all, I don't, my page, I'm not going to review a book that's 3 stars. I will put it in my wrap up, but I'm not going to put it out there like, oh,
mm,
here's my review. The book was 3 stars. I feel like that's unnecessary. I feel like I review books and put out books that I love. I don't need to review books
mm,
that I didn't love. And I will never tag an author anything below four
no.
stars.
No, if it's not 4 stars or higher, I'm not like honestly, sometimes too, I may just like tag a book as like if it's an author I really love and it's like a 3 or 3.5 star book, like honestly, just because I love the author, I usually I'll give it like 4 stars. But like I'm posting like if I'm just like, and I also used to post reviews that were like not that they were bad reviews, they're good reviews because they're my reviews, they're great, right? But
But just your opinions.
my opinion, so it could be like a 2 star book or a 3.5 star book or something like that. I'm not tagging the author in it. However, I'm putting it out there because it's my review on the book. It's how I feel. And I'm here to just post honest reviews because, again, I'm posting for myself and I'm just using this page as a platform to
Well, a lot
share
of
what
people
I
I
read.
know, a lot of people I know, they will post true reviews on Goodreads,
Oh,
and a lot
yeah.
of people are like, if you want to see their full review of this, go to my Goodreads,
Yeah.
because like, I mean, authors can still see it that way, but a lot of the time authors don't go looking on there because they just, it's not their first platform that they're gonna go look at, that for reviews at
Yeah.
least.
And I think too, like authors are putting their hearts and souls into books, and just because, like, for example, The Charlie Method, like that's a book that Elle Kennedy probably put her heart and soul into, and it has 3.5 stars. Like literally has 3.5 stars on Goodreads. And I would never ever like, I mean, I love the book, don't get me wrong, but if I was someone that didn't like it and rated it 1 or 2 stars, I would literally never post on my Instagram and then tag her in it and be like, I hated this book, it sucked, because this is someone who thought this was such a great book that she's publishing it for the world to see and then
Well, it was
going in and
also too,
rating
that book
it.
was so different, and especially since it was very different from what she's put out in the past. So it was a very
Yeah.
big jump for her
Mm-hmm.
to put out a book like this.
Yeah. But I just
So
think
no,
that
I'm
someone that's publishing a book and putting it out into the world for readers to see, like, why are you gonna bash them? Like, yeah, you can have your opinion all you want, but don't bash them like that. Like that's so wrong. That's awful. But
no,
again, opinion.
I done told you, I will never.
But facts.
I get feel bad when it's an author that, like, I think me and my friend Stephanie were talking about this. Like, we read a book that we love the author. We loved the beginning of the series. I mean, we loved it. And then the last book her and I buddy read, we're like, it just was not it. And I felt so bad, and so did she. So I was like, oh gosh. And so I just hope, like, I never want to hurt an author's feelings, and
Yeah.
especially someone I'm friends with. So I'm like, this has got complicated.
Yeah, I get that. I get
Yeah.
that. But last but not least, repeat themes and tropes in romantasy. It feels like it has the same story, but a different author wrote it. So I haven't read enough romantasy where I can truly like comment on this, but I can comment on this in the fact with, like, okay, let's be real. You're not going to have a book that is so different with the same tropes from another book, right? Like you're going to have the same storyline, like brother's best friend. I think it's like in the details of how it's written that make it different. And like, because it does feel like a lot of like the storyline and the characters, it's like, oh, like this feels similar, this sounds similar, but now it's just in a different book by a different author. So I think I can see that in romantasy because there's really not that there's like so much, but you need to get creative in romantasy
Oh, yeah. No.
with a fantasy world, and you have to build it up and you have to make it new and fresh. And if it's something like the same as another book, then of course, it's going to be repetitive. But I can totally see why it would feel like you're just reading the same story but by like a different author, because I feel like that's valid with just books in general. It's really hard to find, I mean, it's not really hard, but I feel like as you dive into more authors and more books, you may find like a good book by a new author, but then like the rest of the series, it's like, oh, this just seems similar to this book or that book, or it just feels like repetitive, you know? So I feel like as you read more books, it's harder to find books that you feel are like unique, but still have the same tropes.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel that. I'm kind of like you.
Yeah.
I haven't read a lot of romantasy, but like me personally, I'm very picky about the romantasy that I do read, and so I kind of like a resemblance.
Mm,
Like The Veiled Kingdom by Holly Renee. I said that was a lot like Fourth Wing. It's kind of the same storyline, but I loved it.
yeah.
It wasn't close enough for me that it was like, because they had no dragons like Fourth Wing does. So, and like, I don't think anything compares to ACOTAR. I haven't read anything that compares to ACOTAR, so I can't really speak too much on that, but I haven't run into anything. But now, if we're gonna get on the topic of just your contemporary or would I read on a daily? Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see it. I could see where that gets repetitive and, a lot alike. But most of the time, it's still nothing that I feel like, I don't know, lost my train of thought on that one. But,
Yeah.
romantic
No, I get
wise,
that. I feel like for someone that says that with the like romantasy genre, I feel like it would be similar with like a hockey romance. Like it's really hard to find like a hockey romance with the same, like it's not hard, but I feel like there are times where I find new books that feel very similar to other books in the hockey romance. So I can
yeah.
understand where in romantasy, if it's not creative enough and there's not enough like of a difference between other series, then I can see how that would get repetitive too.
And also, a thing that kind of like, even going into it, but like, if you notice when authors put out a lot of books back to back, can sometimes be like that, I feel
Mm,
like. And then you have authors who like put your books out like years, 1 to 2 years later. I feel like the stories are just a little bit more thought out and not rushed.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
I'm just
that's
trying to
me.
like, yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's not all the
But
case, but it can be the case. But
yeah, and again, your
that's a
opinion.
hot take in itself.
But I think that's all we have for our hot takes. Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
everyone so much for sending those in to us and letting us dive in on your hot takes. We appreciate you. We appreciate your responses to our questions. But yeah, that is it for episode 3. A nice little short one for y'all the next couple of weeks. But anything else you have to say, Gloria?
No, just, yeah, short episode this time. I enjoyed it. I love a good controversial conversation. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like it's nice to have one of those every once in a while.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah, no.
But yeah, thank y'all for
I hope
listening.
y'all enjoyed this short little
Yeah,
episode.
hope you enjoy this episode, and we will see you in a couple of weeks for episode 4. Stay tuned to see what it is we talk about for that one. But we'll see y'all later. Stay booked and unfiltered, everyone.
Bye.